Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I'm requesting for a statement on the release of retention money arising out of contracts for construction works in the northern frontier counties. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Roads, Transportation and Housing regarding the release of retention money arising out of contracts for construction works in the northern frontier counties. In the statement, the committee should, 1, provide details of contractors engaged by the county government of Garrisa, Wajir, Mandera, Marsabit, Isiolo, Turkana, Samburu and West Pokot to undertake construction works and their respective amounts paid by them as retention money from the year 2017 to date. 2, indicate the status of release of retention money by the county government's respective contractors within the same period, providing reasons for any releases that have not been effected. 3, state the total amount currently held by the county government as retention money, explaining the reason for discrepancies, if any, between the amounts paid by and released to the contractors. And lastly, Mr. Speaker, sir, state measures put in place to ensure timely release of retention money to the contractors. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
As I run through the last statement, I will allow 2 interventions on the statement sought by Senator Chute. Thank you. Senator Cherangei.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to comment something on the statement by Senator Chute. On the issue of retention of money, the law is very clear, Mr. Speaker, that retention money acts as to protect the government or county governments from liability. Mr. Speaker, if there is anybody who has taken away retention money from these northern frontier counties, Mr. Speaker, they must fail full force of the law. This is illegal. This is against financial law, against Public Finance Management Act, Mr. Speaker, because the retention money are supposed to act as an insurance of the projects that you are undertaking in county governments and national governments, Mr. Speaker. We'll be looking forward, not only the northern frontier counties, even my county, Mr. Speaker, when you check retention funds, especially for flagship projects, Mr. Speaker, they no longer exist. So actually, Mr. Speaker, they are violating the law, and I think what is happening in northern frontier counties, Mr. Speaker, we have had a discussion, especially in Public Accounts Committee, on retention money that affects Mr. Speaker. So I would be keen that, Mr. Speaker, let us not only restrict, Mr. Speaker, to North Frontier counties. I would want also other counties to be included. And I request that, Mr. Speaker, this should not go to Committee of Roads. It should come to where I'm the Vice Chair, Mr. Speaker, so that we can handle, Mr. Speaker, because I know, Mr. Speaker, because I know how these people behave. I'm the only Mr. Speaker who has an expertise of clamping them down and ensure that we look at this issue. And I can assure you, Mr. Speaker, as my committee, we will not let the House down. We will not let the leadership down. We will not let Kenyans down. We will handle them where necessary to ensure they account, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Karunga.
I want to thank government on the subsidized program of fertilizer. I think what we need to do is now to ensure in future, Mr. Speaker, we devolve to the certain level of either ward level or sub-county level to ease access to farmers. Number 2, Mr. Speaker, when I met farmers at the Bonjoka area, Mr. Speaker, in Kabwareng ward, they requested that the issue of subsidized fertilizer should come up a bit early, especially in November, December. And number 2, Mr. Speaker, we should not only retain subsidized fertilizer only, Mr. Speaker, to only the aspect of maize only. They want it included in coffee, sugarcane, and tea, Mr. Speaker. And I think we had a robust discussion under the leadership of His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua when we were doing tea reforms in Kericho. So, Mr. Speaker, on the aspect of, and I'm happy government has budgeted more than 5 billion for subsidized fertilizer in this coming planting season in the budget, financial budget of 2023-2024. And we hope the small matter in court of the finance bill shall be resolved so that we can get enough and sufficient resources, Mr. Speaker. Finally, Mr. Speaker, on the aspect, and I think on the statement by Senator Okinyuri, even us, I've seen her talking about the role of Abagusi community in the fight against fight for Kenya's independence, Mr. Speaker. Even us, we have what we call Koitalel, Samoe, and the Nandi warriors and the Kalenjin warriors who are yet to be compensated at now. So I'll be very keen, Mr. Speaker, to relook at it, Mr. Speaker.